What if the people you fall for are not mistakes, but messengers? What if your heartbreaks are not failures in judgment, but echoes from your unconscious, asking to be seen, to be healed, to be heard? You say you want love, connection, safety, but your heart keeps choosing chaos. And no matter how much you grow, it keeps happening again. Why? You keep falling for the emotionally unavailable, the distant, the inconsistent. You tell yourself it's fate, bad luck, or chemistry. But what if it's none of that? What if your attraction isn't random, but ritual? A ritual of repetition, fueled by wounds so old, they've become invisible. Carl Jung warned us, until we make the unconscious conscious, it will direct our lives, and we will call it destiny. The person you fall for may not be who you think they are. You don't love them. You love how your nervous system recognizes them. You love what they activate, not who they are, but what they represent. An archetype, a shadow, a symbol of something unresolved inside you. You think it's love, but it's projection. You think it's magic, but it's memory. And memory, when left unhealed, becomes a trap. You chase what feels familiar. You confuse survival with romance. You assign meaning to pain because it feels like something you've always known. But known doesn't mean healthy. Familiar doesn't mean safe. And not every spark is a sign. Some are warnings. What if the wrong people are showing up because a part of you is still waiting to be rescued, to be chosen, to be completed? And what if you keep falling for them because a part of you doesn't believe you deserve more? Keep watching, because what you discover next might reveal that every wrong person was leading you, not to love, but to yourself. You don't choose them, not consciously. You feel the pull before your mind can explain it. A glance, a word, a presence, and suddenly you're caught. It feels like fate, like recognition, like gravity. But gravity also pulls you toward the ground. And what you feel isn't always love. Sometimes it's your trauma saying, I know this feeling. I remember this pain. Carl Jung spoke of complexes, psychic knots formed around emotional wounds. These complexes shape your perception, your choices, your attractions. You fall for the wrong person because they awaken something ancient in you. Not beauty, not joy, but a psychological tension you've mistaken for love. A need to resolve what was once left unfinished. You're not falling in love. You're falling into a familiar pattern. You meet someone emotionally distant, and your unconscious says this feels like home. Not because it's safe, but because your nervous system learned to call neglect normal. You try to earn their love. You try to fix them. You think if you just love hard enough, they'll finally see you. But this isn't about them. It's about your past dressed up in a new face. You chase their affection the way you once chased a parent's attention. You tolerate mixed signals the way you once tolerated emotional inconsistency. You stay even when it hurts, not because you're weak, but because leaving would mean facing the part of you that still believes love must be proven. Carl Jung called this the shadow, the rejected parts of you seeking reunion through others. And in these people, you find your shadow reflected back. The wrong person becomes your teacher, your mirror. They don't just show you what you want, they show you what you're still missing. They pull your unhealed places to the surface, not because they're malicious, but because they vibrate at the frequency of your unresolved story. And that frequency feels like chemistry. You romanticize the struggle. You tell yourself love is supposed to hurt. That intensity equals intimacy. But love without peace is not love. It's attachment. It's trauma bonding. It's the inner child hoping this time someone will stay, but someone can't stay when you're still abandoning yourself. And no one can fill a void that was carved by neglect, especially not someone who echoes it. The wrong person is often the perfect person for the pattern. They give just enough to keep you hooked, just enough to keep you chasing. And the more unavailable they are, the more valuable they seem. But value is not measured in effort. It's measured in presence, in respect, in consistency. Jung believed that what you seek outside is often what you've disowned inside. And so you seek completion in all the wrong places. You say you want love, but you chase danger. You say you want stability, but you run from the calm. Because calm feels foreign. Peace feels suspicious. When you meet someone healthy, it feels boring. Because your unconscious still equates chaos with passion. You're not addicted to love. You're addicted to the chemical cocktail of adrenaline, anxiety, and hope. This is not your fault. It's your programming. But it is your responsibility to rewrite the code, to notice the pattern, to pause, before you pursue, to ask, why does this person feel so familiar? And to remember, not everything familiar is good. Some patterns are just pain with a different name. And some souls are just mirrors you're not ready to face. But when you become ready, truly ready, the pattern loses its power. You begin to fall for stillness, for truth, for presence. You begin to recognize your own value before anyone else affirms it. And the wrong person? They stop feeling magnetic, not because they changed, but because you did. The energy you once spent chasing now returns to you. And from that energy, a new kind of love can finally grow. And now, perhaps, for the first time, you're seeing the pattern not as punishment, but as a portal. Every wrong person was a thread in the tapestry of your becoming. Every heartbreak, a crack through which your unconscious whispered, look here, not to suffer, not to stay, but to awaken. You realize you were never broken, only conditioned. To seek wholeness in others. You handed out pieces of yourself hoping someone would put you back together, but no one can complete what they didn't fracture. That responsibility belongs to you, and it's sacred. It's not a burden. It's a return. The wrong person felt right because they matched a part of you that was unfinished. Their inconsistency mirrored your doubt. Their absence echoed your silence. Their coldness felt like something you'd met before, in childhood, in memory, in unmet needs that shaped your perception of love. Carl Jung reminded us that the psyche always seeks integration. And now, the seeking ends. You are no longer available for roles that demand your disappearance. You are no longer seduced by emotional distance. You no longer chase, not because you've become bitter, but because you've become whole. Wholeness doesn't beg. It doesn't bargain. It simply is. And in that being, it attracts what resonates with its truth. There will still be moments of temptation, echoes of the old you trying to find a doorway back into what's familiar. But you'll pause, you'll breathe. You'll ask, is this love? Or is this my wound asking for another? Chance to be seen? That question becomes your compass. And your compass no longer points to pain. You may walk away from someone who once set your heart on fire, but now you understand, not all flames are sacred. Some are wildfires, some are warnings. And sometimes, the bravest thing you can do is let them burn alone while you walk toward the light of your own becoming. Love is not a battlefield. It's not a chase. It's not a test. It's a mirror. And the clearest mirror is the one you hold up to yourself when you say, I am no longer willing to abandon myself for connection. From that declaration, everything begins to change. Not outside. Inside. Let this be the end of the story you no longer need. And the beginning of the story you came here to write. One where love does not break you to build you. One where peace feels like passion. One where being chosen doesn't cost you your truth. And if you've made it here, you're already rewriting the script. If this stirred something deep within you, don't run from it. Stay. Let the discomfort open a new door. Let the ache become the guide. Because healing isn't about forgetting the wrong people. It's about finally remembering yourself. And if this reflection reached you, then the next step is not a click. It's a continuation. Subscribe, not just to this channel, but to your own wholeness. Leave a comment, not to be heard, but to echo your truth. Share this with someone still confusing pain for love, and return, because in the next story we go even deeper, not into them, but into you.